Hello ladies and gentlemen, and a very good evening to all of you, and welcome to Have the Race Gone for the Audi TT Showdown series. It is Catalunya for the very old school, that's maybe a bit too much to put into it. It is indeed the old school edition, the old school layout we're running tonight, as usual, with your monthly Audi TT Cup Showdown series. It is 2 times around 25 minutes of racing, race 2 or heat 2, featuring reverse grid order. Tires and fuel are at ×1, so no pit stops. It is heavy damage and ABS turned off. So here's the first quirk of the track, the old passage up through the middle sector. I think that's Shasa almost getting it wrong behind there. Evening to everyone tuning in already. Swablu, Fabi, and Maverick of the Volex esports game. Very warm welcome to you all. I'm excited for this one. I think the racing is always really much on point for these events, so I've been looking forward. Of course, we had to postpone the race last week due to a couple of I think it was actually 8 drivers or so that all of a sudden weren't able to make it, and we were forced to postpone it. But we're with you now, and it's live, and it's a hell of a grid. We have a couple of very strong TX3 drivers showing up here. The Super Pole session now being concluded, and me being busy trying to share the link while talking and producing the video. Not having the best of successes with actually catching the action here. Joe of the Fire, one of our absolute favorites for tonight. One of the strongest pad drivers around, dare I say. And he's crossing the line. Third fastest, half of a second down on TX3 Aura, who's on pole position at least for now. Still yet one more driver. Oh, still actually a couple of drivers out. We have Sparks, we have Pirolito just crossing the line now, but he's not gonna improve. He's gonna, or improve, well, not a chance to improve, but he's 12th fastest anyways. We've got Sparks and Calm yet to cross the line. Calm on his out lap, Sparks on the flying lap, so still a couple of drivers to follow here. Let's go on board with Sparks himself. Oh, Sparks picking up a penalty. That's not gonna assist his lap whatsoever. As this time around I am gonna get around to actually sharing the stream. Was a little bit more under pressure time-wise all of a sudden with the qualifying getting underway. So Mr. Professional as Apple, or the man formerly known as Apple, who's now Nukeshot Sokyo _9. Nice indeed, and Calm, he's gonna be starting from the back as well, it seems. Good evening to Iris. What a pleasure to see you here. Nice having you along. And Rory, you know how I feel about your stuff as well. I'm a huge fan as well. Evening to Martin. Evening to the Wakey boy. Let's see if your internet holds up for tonight. Crossed fingers from here. Qualifying over with and done. That means a short break before we'll be getting on with race 1. And that's 25 minutes, of course, with the grid order being determined by our qualifying session here. And then we'll have heat 2 getting underway with the reverse grid order indeed. And then onto our final special event. Actually, I for our all our Dutch, both drivers and viewers. I tried to lobby in for us to do some backwards racing at the end of this one. I'm not sure that it's gonna be that well, but let's see. Well, thanks, Sirius. Thanks for stopping by. Great to see you here. And hello to the Lee himself, TSR Stick. Or the official profile it is, of course, of the TSR boys. Good friends of ours. Nice to have you along. Sugar Dad. That's a good one. That is a good one. If ever I've seen one. So let's just go through the grid, shall we? Of course, I've mentioned Joe of the Fire. I mentioned TX3 Aura, our pole setter here. I mentioned Shoma as well, the AS Monaco Esports Pro. We have Sarada GT14 and the number 14 car, I think, for the first time with us, though not quite sure. Because we've had a couple of different drivers on and off here for this series. But interesting, we'll see where the Spaniard fits in pace-wise. We have, of course, the organizer of this one, Dr. Hash, the doctor himself. We have all the way from Brazil, we have a DJ Swami 1976. That's just gonna be DJ Swami from now on. I'm not a big fan of annuals, at least not when having to speak them out loud 20-30 times during a race, if not even more. We're gonna have to see how much action revolves around DJ Swami for this one. TSR Wake representing TSR alongside Martin, of course, from I was about to say the nether regions. The nether countries, that is. We have Sparks, as mentioned before, as well. We have Halbstark, also one of our pre-race favorites, I'd have to say. Pirolito, the Portuguese, in the number 71 car. And last but not least, very much not least, we have a TX3 Schosse as well. Number 44, the Dad. That's Kurt. Kurt is not in the 44. That has to be Kurt. Martin, you have to agree with me on that one. All the TSR boys have to agree with me. Dad, the TSR Dad, can only be Kurt. So a bit of warm-up, I think. And of course, a very good evening and a very warm welcome is what I intended to say. Don't know where the good evening came into it, but hey, a good evening anyways. It is evening, and I hope it is being good to you all. We've had an extended weekend, at least in Denmark, and I expect most of Europe to have had this as well. It's been good on me. I hope it's been as good on all of you. And we're here to round it off with the Audi TD Showdown series. The Titty Cup. They usually come in pairs. We've made that joke before. Oh, it was a good one. And Grosso as well. The second of two Portuguese drivers on the grid for today. Yes, Lee, that was that was amazing. I have to say, I do really miss having Trials alongside me here in the commentary booth. It's not like we're not still good mates, and it's not like he's not still a part of the channel and anything. It's just been more of a background role playing, and we're making the jump together. We've made the jump. Making is a little late to say that, but we've made the jump into iRacing, and we're gonna be seeing a lot more of that in the future. DAD is a pretty famous Danish rock band from the 80s, early 90s. I think they're still active, but just saying. Just saying. Here's the witty professor, Joe of the Fire, very much favorite of the channel, very much a long-time community member and fast boy. But of course, speaking of favorites, now we don't have him on track, but Martin has collected quite a number of fans. In chat is one of the more cheered on drivers, same for CJ, also always with a couple of avid supporters. 1 minute to race start, and that is noted. So that doesn't give us much as to concerning the grid, the running order of the grid. Swablu, good job. You can find us if you... are you on Twitter, Swablu? If you're on Twitter, I'd love to see you post that on Twitter and yeah, tweet it to us. We're on Twitter at @halfrace, and I'd love to see that. It was certainly one of the best moments. We've had a few of those. The first really fantastic moment was on Monza with a trial of, let's say, a trilogy of errors. I'll be sure to clip that as well sometime soon and let you all experience the joy of that again. It was a really funny moment. Anyway, the start of Heat 1 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. The grid order is on the screen, and I didn't really see what happened grid-wise before, so I'll be as surprised as you. It's TX3 Aura on pole in front of Engrosso, Joe of the Fire, Shase, Wake, Shomar. Then it's DJ Swami, it's Halbstärk, and then I think it was Dr. Hash down in 9th position indeed. So watch the lights there on the bar. When they go out or when they go green, I actually don't remember. I think it's the old F1 style. When the lights go, oh, there it is, green, 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 and the first heat is underway. Oh, no, it's not, because we have a formation lap. But we've had drivers make that very mistake before, and I just came to think of it as so much fun. And I don't actually remember who did that. But it was fun. It was it Hero in the... might actually even have been in the IGTL. I think we've seen it here in the TT Cup as well. Yeah. So the warm-up lap, of course, getting underway here for the first heat with a flying start. For the second heat, standing start. There is a lot to be confused about as well. But this gives us ample time to go through the running order here. As mentioned, it's TX3 Aura in front of Engrosso, Joe of the Fire, TX3 Shase. Then it's Wake, best of the TSR boys, Shomar in 6th position. It's DJ Swami, the Brazilian, in 7th. Halbstärk 8th in front of Dr. Hash in 9th. It's Saral in 10th. It's the second of 2 TSR boys tonight. Martin in 11th. Sparks in 12th. Calm 14th. And Pirolito in 14th and last position on the grid. And indeed, Swablu, I really think you should go get Twitter for that to happen. I'd love to, yeah. And anyone else, of course, if you feel like it, we are on Twitter. That is our social media outlet, if you will. We're also on Discord. We have a Discord server with a very nice, not huge community. I think we're about 70 people by now. You can find some links to those in the description. See how the what are they even called? I was about to call them bales, but aren't really bales, are they? You could call them like bales, but they're not really bales. But we'll call them bales for now, and just in the lack of anything else, clearing off the bales of that second runoff used. Of course, the real old school version of this track would also not have this final chicane, just have straight into the final corner. That's back when it was used to be quite something of a faster circuit, actually, back in the F1 days. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the entire field rounding the final corner. And that means when they cross the line, we will be off and racing for 13 laps of action here from Circuit de Catalunya in the Audi TT Cup cars. And it is Aura leading him down. Joe of the Fire getting a good run on Grosso as they stream down towards the opening chicane. Joe of the Fire actually getting a good run also on Aura, but breaking in time. Showdown getting brilliantly away up into 3rd position. Mind you, he started in 6th. Wake holding on to 5th. It's Schosse, 6th position. Halbstack 7th. Strong start from Aura. We'll have another look at the start in a short moment's time. And a very clean start it seems as well. On board with Pirolito here at the back of affairs. Gives us a very good view of what's going on in front. Further up the peloton. Oh, as I think that's Sparks bottling it and then giving Martin the kiss of death, if you will. Oh, we're just gonna have an extra look at that on board here with Sparks. And that's just losing it under braking, I think. Poor luck for Martin, who just got caught out there. As if he was the subject of a early 2000s hateful R&B song sung by Khalees. But now Martin is a nice guy, but if he wasn't, it could have been him feeling just like Khalees does in that song about Sparks at the moment. Just kidding, of course, but close stuff at the front of affairs. We're onto the wang cam of TX3 Aura. Close as Aura switches to the inside of the track. But rubs too much speed off. Joe of the Fire with a brilliant run. Nowhere really to go. He's left on the outside. Showdown also really closing in. I think Aura is going to keep a hold of first. No, that is a brilliant move from Joe of the Fire to squeeze into 1st position through turn 1. And let's go on board with the witty professor. Well, he manages just to stay there, stick the nose in, and keep his cool, and he's up into the race lead. It's very close still between these top 4 cars. Little bit of a gap developing, but Halbstack up into 5th position already. That is brilliant, given that he started in, well, down in 8th, was it? Dr. Hash started 9th, he's up in 7th. Wake has dropped down a single position. We have Schosse running 8th at the moment. And except for that poor luck start for Martin, it's all been pretty clean so far. Still close and hectic at the front of affairs, with Joe of the Fire defending from Aura. Then it's Showdown tugging in, and I think Grosso just having lost a little bit of ground. Showdown, he can really bide his time now. He seems to have the pace with him to be able just to stick along with not too much battling. Of course, these guys will be intelligent enough just to not to go all out at it. So let us see. On board with the Baguette King, as I've called him on a number of occasions. That's a little bit rude, I guess, but it's all in the name of good fun. He's a lovely fellow, Showdown, and he's battling well for it at the moment. Seems to get a little bit of a shoddy exit from that penultimate chicane. As Aura now at the inside run on Joe of the Fire. Seems that the 2 cars almost melted together there for a short time. And into turn 1, it's Aura gaining the lead from Joe of the Fire. Although I think he might have gone a little too wide. Might have compromised himself here through turn 3. Let's see about it. Showdown surely getting very close. Down towards turn 4, one of the better overtaking opportunities with a 5-car train in right behind. We'll be sure to check out what's going on in behind here as Aura, I think, breaks too deep into turn 4. And it might as well be the opportunity for Joe of the Fire. Let's see. On board with the witty professor yet again, as they're too wide through turn 5 indeed. And Aura keeps a hold of it, a little bit of argy-bargying in between those two. No time to check out that kind of action right now. So this is that 5-car train 4 through 7th, I think that is. With Engrosso, Halbstag, Wake, Schosse, and then of course Dr. Hash as well. Before we have the next split in affairs. Seems Engrosso's is ever so slightly holding these drivers up. Of course, pace is close and it's tight. Oh, that's Wake getting very wayward into the little less tight hairpin that's more of a reverse parabolica, as it kind of opens a little bit, I should say, in rally terms, I guess. Let's just have another look with Wake. And that's another case of just applying the brakes too hard, too early. Evening to Alba. And Wake pitting in, so that's poor luck for both of the TSR boys. Being taken out of contention early here in the first heat. Oh, that's a nice little dummy move by Chomard to let Joe of the Fire give him the space. Can he remain in position for turn 1? It'll be brilliant for turn 2. And he very certainly does. Chomard inheriting, I was about to say. Well, it isn't that. Joe of the Fire, though, is not gonna budge at all. He's not giving up without a fight, and I think he's actually gonna keep a hold of it. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff indeed from the witty professor, and Aura is right on the bumper of the fender. They're still too wide into turn 4. Absolutely brilliant racing on display here. The lead battle keeps on giving as Chomard comes out with the most speed into turn 5. Here it seems he's gonna keep a hold of it. Takes the race lead. Let's just have another look. Long battle indeed. So they're onto the wank cam just to see. We're of course on board with Chomard here as Joe of the Fire defends so brilliantly through turn 3 and then up towards turn 4. Just gonna see how much they're gonna let us see even. This battle absolutely fantastic. Evening to Quentin as well. Nice to have you along, mate. And Grosso looking to catch up. Halbstag looking to defend now from Dr. Hash, who's been making moves. Schosse, and it seems they have gotten rid of Saral and DJ Swami as well. Calm up into 10th position. He's been running well as well. Pirolito 11th. And then Wake, Sparks, and Martin rounding off the pack at the moment. Chomard still just trying to defend, but it's still too close for him to be able to shake off any of the following cars. Now there's a move coming up. That's the battle between Halbstag and Dr. Hash. It's Dr. Hash on the inside in the 420 car. It's Halbstag defending. It's Hash going through up into 5th position in the end. Strong job there. Let's see it again. Still Chomard in the 274 car, really having placed himself well after a brilliant start. One of the best starts, I think. Although, of course, it has to be said, these rolling starts can really be timed well. But jumping from 6th position on the grid all the way up to 3rd, that is indeed strong stuff. Aura, our pole setter, he's still very much up there, holding 3rd place for the time being. Oh, and Grosso getting little shaky on the exit there, but just due to a tire on the grass, managed just to survive it. As mentioned before, Dr. Hash now closing in on the cars in front. So it's still all to play for, and it seems it's actually coming together between the top 7 at the moment. And then there's another snake of cars here with Swami, Saral, Pirolito, and Calm as well. Joe of the Fire, it seems, with a good run on Chomard this time around. As it's Aura who gets the best lap time in. Here comes the break off from the witty professor. He's gonna send it into turn 1. See if he can keep it through turn 2 as they go side by side. It's been an reoccurring theme. But it's gonna open up the door. Let's see. It's Joe of the Fire yet again with the inside line here. He wants to have that inside line for turn 4 in the end. He might just get that. Brilliant stuff here. Brilliant stuff indeed. Shomar defending. And coming into this broadcast, we were at 418 subscribers. That's, of course, really nice. We've seen quite a bit of growth here over the last week, and that has been nice. It always is, of course. But anyways, the point of saying all this is that let's get at least 2 more subs today and honor Dr. Hash by getting 420 subscribers today. That'd be good fun. Oh, Aura, Joe of the Fire, what's going on here? A bit of argy-bargying in behind as Shomar really breaks away. So I'm looking away just for a minute. The action really kicks off in behind with Aura, Joe of the Fire, and Ingrosso. Oh, and that's too wide in here. That's going to cost them time through the next section here as well. And that's where the argy-bargying came into effect. Aura keeping a hold of second position. Although all this battling here, well, it's let Ingrosso and Dr. Hash in turn right back in. But more importantly so, it's allowed Shomar to break away out in front as we've 50%, half the race gone. With half the race gone, there is indeed half the race to go. And it's the situation we're looking at right now as they're going 3 wide, it seems, into turn 1. Joe of the Fire, Ingrosso and Aura. It's Joe of the Fire and Aura as Ingrosso all the way on the inside. He backs out of it. Dr. Hash was right there to take advantage. Brilliant stuff. Good job from Aura defending that on the racing line all the way from the outside of affairs. Let's have another look on board with the TX3 German on the outside. Look at that indeed. Hectic stuff. Now exiting turn 5, Aura trying to break away from the witty professor. And how many guys did catch up in behind there? It's Ingrosso, Dr. Hash, and Schosse. And Schosse is a dangerous man to let into contention. He started some way off. He's been held up by traffic so far. Will he find his groove for the last bit of this race? There's a 5-second gap now from Schosse down to Halbstärk and the following cars. So it seems it's going to be from these 6 that we'll have our winner found. Right now, Shomar almost 3 seconds of advantage down to TX3 Aura. And then it's the witty professor that is Joe of the Fire 3rd, and Grosso 4th, Dr. Hash in 5th. And as mentioned before, Schosse just catching up to that snake of cars. It's now over 3 seconds from Shomar down. Wayne cam time here from Aura, who's now also put Joe of the Fire out of the slipstream, it seems. He has indeed Joe of the Fire not gaining. And then further down the order, here it is, the battle for 4th position with Dr. Hash using the pit lane. And then sending it indeed. So a bit of a wild move from the Doctor in the pit lane. But gets it done and gets away with it very well. Dr. Hash up in 4th position now. It's Grosso down into 5th. Schosse biding his time in 6th position. Aura now running away from Joe of the Fire, but will he be able to catch up to Shomar? He's clawed back a 10th, but I think that's only to be losing it here in behind. Oh, that's Aura almost going wide, using all of the permitted AstroTurf. Still Aura, well, he's clawed back a 10th. That's not gonna be enough, but it is looking back at actually 3/10 by now, all in all. And as I say that, Shomar picks up the pace. Joe of the Fire now falling backwards. He's got a 1.5 down to Dr. Hash. Seems to be okay as I say that. Dr. Hash goes quite wide on corner exit right before the penultimate chicane. As we are in Spain, should we call it El Penúltimo? There it is, wide and into the gravel trap. Oh, no, not even. That explains why there's no grip on those outside tires after sticking him onto the dirt. And Grosso taking advantage up into 4th position. Shoss is still just behind here. And then down in 7th, it's Halstag, it's DJ Swami 8th, Saral in 9th, Pirulito 10, it's Calm in 11th place. And then there's quite something of a gap down to Wake, Sparks, and Martin. And they're all also quite on the bit of separation, the bottom runners at the moment. But we've had a couple of unlucky souls here in the first heat. Shomar's lost half a second as compared to when his advantage was at its peak, if you will. Aura is definitely, now that he has finally found that clean air, he seems to be the man with the top pace for the time being. Joe of the Fire, 3rd position. He's breaking off from Engrosso, who seems to be, well, he's leading Dr. Hash, but he's also not really able to break away from the Doctor and Schosse, who's right in behind. Still Shomar leading. It's still around 2.4 seconds, 2.3 now. But Aura, well, he does have a very strong pace here, as I say that. That delta is ever changing. So 3 laps to go by now. Just 3 laps of racing remaining from the first heat. It's still Shomar leading Aura and Joe of the Fire. We've got Engrosso in 4th position. We've got Dr. Hash in 5th, Schosse 6th, and Halbstag in 7th. And here on those final couple of laps, a little bit of spread happening here with I think Aura locking up the brakes into turn 5 through the kink, and then this left-hander always difficult, seems to always want to unsettle the car on corner exit. And he did indeed lose quite a bit of time there. Joe of the Fires gained half a second. And then in behind here, Dr. Hash is still applying the pressure to the back end of Engrosso at the moment. Oh, as I say that, Dr. Hash almost loses it in a place that we've seen Engrosso struggle with. As we are on board with Dr. Hash here in the battle for 4th. And then Wang came time from the car of Engrosso. Of course, we also have Schosse in the mix here in the battle for 4th. Well, there might have been some bottle job further down the running order there, I'm afraid. Was that Pirulito, or was that that it was? Just have a look at what happened. Oh, losing it on the sausage curb. And then no way to turn the car around quickly by oversteer and means of getting it around like that. So that became painstakingly slow to watch. Chomar having consolidated his lead. 2.5 laps remaining. And it's 2.5 seconds as well. And unless he makes some huge mistake here on the final couple of laps, he will be home safe for a Heat 1 win. The Frenchman. It's been an impeccable drive from him so far. Joe of the Fire looking good at the moment for 3rd position. And he won't be too disappointed with that, I'm sure. It's where he was on the grid. Having lost quite a bit of time there in 4th position, it is Grosso, but still defending strongly from Dr. Hash. Schosse has lost lots of time. He's lost all 3 seconds there up to the 2 cars in front, and is now falling quickly into the clutches of Halstag in behind. And that is because he's picked up some kind of penalty or some kind of damage, of course. Excuse me. Front split damage. Martin's disconnected. Oh, that's a shame. Bad weather. Oh! Schosse and Halstag. That's Halstag getting pitted. That's Schosse waiting. Oh, that was... Let's have another look on board with... we should actually go on board with Schosse. That's going to show us a little more. As Halstag is afraid of the ground, but he gets pitted in there. Oh, that's poor luck. That is poor luck indeed. That's going to send both of those drivers right to the end of affairs. And in the meantime, it's Chomar, it's Aura, it's still Joe of the Fire and Grosso and Dr. Hash. No changes to the top 5. But DJ Swami, the Brazilian, having moved up into 6th position by now, following the incident we just saw a moment ago, the pit maneuver. Good question, Driftmeister. Good question indeed. Although the 2 good friends, you'd expect them to know better close racing. But, yeah. But the Brazilian here is up into 6th position. It's Saral in 7th, Halstag 8th at the moment, Calm 9th, and Schosse having settled in there in 10th position. I'd expect Halstag to have damage, but he doesn't. Somehow. And however that's possible from that situation, we're just going to have another look at it, because you're on board with Halstag. How he doesn't pick up any damage from that impact, that's beyond me. That's well, we are upon the final lap. It's still as it was in the top 5. With Chomar holding on to that strong 2.5 second advantage. Just about the same advantage from Chomar, or from Aura down to Joe of the Fire. And then right on the other side of the podium steps, it is Grosso. And he's pushed his advantage just above the 2nd mark. So he seems safe from the attacking Doctor in behind, who's really been going for it this race, been gaining many positions. Same goes for Brazilian. Looking to finish pretty well in 6th position at the moment. Of course, oh, the lobby is full. That's because Smilehead joined Martin. That's F's. I think I mean, Message Hash directly on PSN or in Discord or something, I'm sure you can figure it out. Shomar takes the checkered flag for Heat 1 right in front of TX3 Aura and Joe of the Fire, third position, third place for the Witty Professor. And Grosso, as we mentioned before, fourth, and Dr. Hash in fifth position. DJ Swami, the Brazilian, well driven from him to take sixth. Saral GT14 in seventh with Halbstärk. Bad luck for him. And Shasa as well. Sparks and Purolito just rounding off the end, the not so pointy end, the blunt end of affairs, if you will. Evening Max as well. The start is Plasberg. But I think I'm not sure this guy is racing with us. We'll have to see. I think there will be space for you again, Martin, if I'm not completely mistaken. Anyways, race results coming up on your screen right now. Shomar, the IGTL organizer that he is as well, of course, as it also shows on his suit. Very strong race from Shomar. Very strong race in general. I think it was a very good race to follow. Lots of good action. Poor luck on Martin. Poor luck on Wake. Poor luck on the TSR boys. We will be back for Heat 2 in well, not too long. In a matter of minutes. And this guy, I think he's getting the boot so you can get back. Oh, of course, we have our little intermezzo here, and for that we will be joining a very special guitarist.
Well, like, I won't let you.
So the jumping heads are over. We're connected to Shomar, who
Yep.
in support of the upcoming IGTL race weekend is gonna play you a little song, I think.
Gonna try to play you a little song, but yeah. The stress. I'm more stressed than the start now. Thanks, thanks a lot. Oh, why? Just why? Why I accept that right away? Just, I don't know. Some powder.
It was Dr. Hash's idea.
Yeah, I know. So, when you're ready, I don't know. Okay, okay. I'm not. I'm stressed.
Super well done. Can we have a round of applause? A round of applause in chat for a man that doesn't only know how to drive fast, he also knows how to move his fingers fast across the fretboard. I think I'll have to plug in my guitar next time and play along. We'll do like a Steve Vai and Yngwie Malmsteen guitar duet. It'll be amazing. There will be tapping and there will be long hair. I have to grow a long hair and paint it blonde for it to work, but it'll be fantastic. Of course, the upcoming IGTL race weekend is here on the last weekend of June. Show me the dates. I cannot get my calendar open right now. It's on the 29th.
The last weekend, yes.
It's 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yes.
And nothing has been released so far except for these dates.
The cars will be unveiled. Sorry for my accent. This week. I don't know the day, but the cars will be unveiled before Saturday, before the start of the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Okay, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Something to look forward to. The upcoming IGTL race weekend. We are definitely looking forward to this one. What we're also looking forward to is the start of Heat 2. I will be leaving the party people to themselves, and I will be... So while the drivers have a bit of a... And boot, yeah. No space for... Can we kick? Martin, I've mentioned this. I don't want to be rude. Oh, bonsoir à vous. Tout va bien, mon pote? The man of many languages, that's me. Goedenavond voor alle mijn Nederlandse vrienden, voor alle mijn Vlaamse vrienden. Guten Abend for alle meine deutsche Freunden, og god aften til alle mine danske venner. Then now we've gone all the way around. I hope you're enjoying the party, the racing party that is here. You're not ready. Well, yeah, I'm Mr. International indeed. I'm the perfect man for the International Gran Turismo League. I don't think much can be held up to that fact. But anyways, welcome to everyone who's joined us here in between the two heats, as we had our lovely little guitar intermezzo from Shoma, our Heat 1 winner, by the way, as well. Now we're patiently awaiting Heat 2, which will be shortly underway. I think not much has to happen before we can go racing for another 25 minutes. Of course, this time around we'll have reverse grid order. Evening to Netzo as well. I'll just hire you to have to type in what I have to say. My accent might be good, my vocabulary isn't that strong, to be honest. But anyway, it's all good fun. So I'm glad to hear that my German isn't schlecht. Problem with me saying schlecht is that by now I say schlecht because in German it's schlecht, I think, or schlecht, and in Dutch is schlecht. and that's what I'm used to saying now. It's a confusing world of languages out there, and I'm getting thrown into it. Sometimes I feel like my head's just taking a turn in the dry thunder. Martin, you should have space to join the lobby yet again now. Smilehead is out racing. We shall join him, as he's one of those drivers not able to partake in the first heat, but he will be here for the second one indeed. We have Carm, the Canadian, on track as well, and the number 15 car. He's making his way through turn 5. Then the kink, and then through a little bit of a dip, but then the exit of the corner comes over this crest, just wanting to send the car wayward to the outside. Yeah, Martin, you can join now. There's space in the lobby, and I think the racing will kick off before too long. So you should probably get your Dutch butt moving and get it into gear. Get in here. Back on board with a Smilehead. With a little bit of warm-up, I think he'll find that nice. Did Hash get damage in race 1? I actually don't know, I don't think so. It didn't look like he had a damaged car at all. So I don't think so, but I actually, then again, I don't know. GT being fussy, well, it shouldn't be the first time, should it? You had damage. I saw you pitting in. Martin is not back yet. We're just waiting for the Huyeman von 5000. It's not letting him in. I'm just gonna report that to the others. So that's annoying. Yeah, we've had that full issue before. It sucks. I've seen it happen at... That might be Wig, I'm not quite sure. So standing start is to come, and that also promises great stuff. It promises to have some more tightly packed racing. The second heats have really been delivering in this series so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Well, that's not Martin. That most certainly wasn't Martin indeed. let's see, SSM. Feel like I've seen that gamer tag before. So of course, a bit of excuses for the slight wait here in between the two heats. Of course, no excuses for the intermezzo, but we're just trying to give Martin a chance to join. I don't think it's going to be working. And with that, it seems that all drivers more or less are ready to get the racing underway. Don't feel sorry, Martin. I think it's there wasn't really much you could do about that. Fuzzy internet. Stick with us in chat. Don't pull out, wear a rubber instead. So here we have it. The grid order for race 2. Sadal in front of Dr. Hash, Halfstack, then DJ Swami, Shomar, Wake, Shosse, Joe of the Fire, and Russo. Sparks, Calm, Smilehead, Pirolito. How that exactly makes sense as a reverse grid order, I don't know, but let's see about that. And the green lights are on, the race is off, and it's Sadal leading him down towards turn 1. Dr. Hash, Halfstack, and DJ Swami in 4th. We are on board now with Shomar, who's squeezed upon the outside. There, I think it was Swami getting a little squirmy indeed through the first chicane. Wake having a good start so far. He's up into 4th position already. Very, very close stuff here in the mid-pack down towards turn 4. Was that Joe of the Fire moving up into 5th position as well? We'll have another look at... yeah, what the fuck, the grid. That's just my word. Still surprised not to see any more chaos here on the opening lap so far. A good battle here for last position, or not last. Oh, is that Smilehead getting punted off by Pirolito? And not much to be done there for Smilehead. Being sent off into the gravel trap. Yeah, indeed, Martin, we are living. We're still alive through all our first world problems of server issues and whatnot. Gets our piss cooking these days. The battle is on for the lead with Saral having held on to it for a lap. Right in front of Dr. Hash. In 3rd is Halfstack. There's a bit of a second. There's a second gap there up. Joe of the Fire having moved up into 4th position. He's trying to escape Shoma, who's on the tail right behind. Then it's TSR Wake in 6th position. It's TX3 Shosse in 7th. And Bottle Sparks 360 in 8th. Look at the snake of cars here as Dr. Hash is taking the lead into turn 1. Saral is trying to defend from it, yet as Joe of the Fire is also pressing onto the rear end of Halfstack as we go on board with the Wang Cam. The witty professor ducking and diving all over the place trying to get through. But he finds no way whatsoever. Still Dr. Hash defending from the Spaniard. Sarar in 2nd at the moment. Oh, he gets a good exit from turn 5. Might have a shot. Oh, he takes it easy in here. Tries to get another good run at Dr. Hash, who might compromise himself this time around. Now also a little bit of a gap developing in behind Shoma. I think that is behind Joe of the Fire, actually. Down to Shoma and then the next couple of cars. So it's a 6-car train if we're counting in Wake. That's appeared now. Aura, Schosse running a duo, the two TX3 drivers. It's Grosso in 9th position, Pirolito 10th. It's a DJ Swami 11th, Bottle Sparks 12th in at the moment. Man, Calm last on track. Dr. Hash having to defend yet again. But I think this is going to be a tough one with Saral on the inside. Oh, he cuts in. That's harsh. And Saral gets put right into the clutches of Halstag as they go too wide for a short moment into turn 3. And it all comes out to nothing in the end. Shoma also got quite close to Joe of the Fire. He might be able to pull off some kind of move. Let's just see Dr. Hash. Well, he got that done. Joe of the Fire defending for the first part of the 2 turns. Shoma, as he got deep, the witty professor. That opened the door for the Frenchman to move up into 4th position. And it is still so with Shoma right in front of Joe, indeed. Halstag 3rd, Saral 2nd. Dr. Hash is leading. And then in behind it is Wake in 6th position. Still Aura and Schosse alone and in behind. Oh, that's well caught indeed by Saral. Let's go on board and have another look at that very nearly moment. Happened as they came out of this chicane. Just floor it, front wheel drive, it'll straighten out, and it most certainly did. But it held up the rest of the bunch. And it might just open the door for Halstag to get a good run this time around. Is he even too close? I think it's perfect for Halstag. He has all the straight way to get a run. Look at Shoma, he comes flying from in behind. What was that weave all about from Dr. Hash? Here we're on board now with the witty professor. Oh. That was not, that was an unintentional one. And with that, oh, that's Saral, and he's gone wide, I think. I think the Spaniard might have gone and pinned it here in the duel with the Halstag. Oh, yeah, just outbraking himself, locking up, and then going deep. Much less dramatic than it could have been. Oh, and now there's a battle for the lead. 3 wide into this corner. Oh, and that's a little bit of carnage. Lots of argy-barging. Who's going to come out ahead of this? It is none other than Shoma reclaiming the lead. But whatever happened in the run-up to that corner, that got very, very sketchy indeed all of a sudden. On board now with the Joe of the Fire. So that's Halstag, that's Dr. Hash plowing into the side of Halstag. On the most part of it, at least. I hear Hash defending from Joe of the Fire. Joe's got his wheel in. Oh, that's good touring car action. Bumps and bruises being delivered to the sides, fronts and rears of these cars, and they deserve it. The titties, bump the titties. And leave a like on the video if you haven't already. And if you haven't and you feel like it, if you like what we do on the channel, consider subscribing as well. Anyways, the racing is certainly great. As we have Shoma reclaiming 1st position. He will now be trying to run away from Halstag, Dr. Hash, Joe of the Fire, and Saral. They've now been joined by TSR Wig and TX3 Aura. 7 front runners now pretty close to one another. And behind them in 8th, it's Schosse. He's not a terrible far long way back as well. And we still got 8 laps of action to go. Shoma still looking like he's just running away with it ever so slightly, I think. Saral looking to send it Up upon the inside of Joe of the Fire. Found there wasn't any space. Now he's close to Wake, the Belgian. And he's have to thinking about defending as well from Aura in behind. It's all very close. Halstag second, Dr. Hash third, Joe of the Fire fourth. Right in front of this car, it's Saral GT14. Then we're on board with the TSR Wake. In behind, it's the two TX3 drivers, Aura and Schosse. Aura getting close to Wake this time around. Has to look, thinks twice. And all the while, Shomar has increased his lead. Is now up to 1.3 seconds. But it's looking good for him. Dr. Hash. Attacking that penultimate chicane position at the moment. As Hash falls back behind Joe of the Fire. I think that was sportsmanship for a little bit of contact earlier on as he moved out of the way and let through Joe of the Fire up into third position, and he's right onto the tail of Halstag. Of course, got the aid of the slipstream of both cars down that start-finish straight. Now he's close to the German in front. It's Shomar the Frenchman leading the way at the moment. And mind you, of course, that while they might not have put it in their driver tags yet, I think Halstag and Dr. Hash having also signed with TX3, so the entire gang of Germans here now, TX3 drivers. That makes TX3 very well represented at the front of affairs here. Was that a little wide going? I think Halstag went wide on that exit. Joe of the Fire now right on the bumper. Dr. Hash is looking for some kind of way through. Oh, that got a little pushy, I think. And Joe is gonna send it. Oh, Dr. Hash makes contact to the rear end of Halstag, who in turn locks up. That's gonna allow Aura to get on through. Dramatic stuff indeed, as we pick up what happened here going on board with the Halstag. Oh, he loses a little bit of drive out of that corner. Then Joe of the Fire. They don't make contact. They don't make any of them make. There's no contact whatsoever. But it's a lock up from both Halstag and Dr. Hash in that situation. And that's allowed Joe of the Fire to slip right on through, right up to second. Halstag now defending from Aura and Dr. Hash in a very tight three-way squeeze here down towards turn one. Schosse here in sixth position. He's the first to be sort of dislodged from that front fight. Saral, he's fallen off as well. And Wake, for that matter, has lost up. He's lost a lot of ground. Question if it's still something we can catch. No, it isn't, sadly. But Shomar by 2.3 seconds. That's going to be a tough nut to crack for Joe of the Fire. He, in turn, has also pushed out an advantage nicely. Still very close between Halstag, Aura, and Dr. Hash. We're on board with the Halstag at the moment. close stuff indeed. Remind you that we have Dr. Hash just a couple of tenths down. He might be close enough to actually get a run. They could end up going 3 wide into turn 1. They are gonna go. Let's get a proper view of this one as Hash picks it in. Oh, they're all gonna make contact. And yet, no worse than they all come through it alive. Dr. Hash now battling Aura. Halbstack is lost out on this situation. Of course, the 2 leading cars greatly gaining of this. The same can be said for Schosse, who's now latched right onto the back of this one. Aura goes up into 3rd position. And Schosse up into 5th already. Challenging Halbstack on the outside. I don't think he's gonna make it through though. Indeed, nice battling, as it's always been with the Audi TT Showdown series, or as I just like to call it, the Titty Cup. They do like to come in pairs and even the odd trio. I'm struggling to make the Titty connection with that one, but it is great racing indeed. All the stupid jokes thrown aside. Watching Dr. Hash, Halbstack, Schosse, and Aura is now breaking away. Let's just have another look at what kicked this entire round of battling off as they went 3 wide into turn 1 indeed. And this insane bit of squabbly action here through turns 1 and 2, continuing through turn 3. As Dr. Hash and Aura just went side by side all the way through. It seems it's all a little more orderly by now, as Aura has put Dr. Hash out of the slipstream. Halbstack is probably beginning to think about having to defend from Schosse there in 6th position. We'll have to see about that. We haven't seen as much to Schosse as we usually see. He's usually, I say, always one of our top runners. Although having made his way up into 6th position here is by no means slouchy. And he's on a purple first sector, so that can't be bad at all either way. He's very much latched onto the back of Halbstack and Dr. Hash. All the while GX3 Aura is leaving the train of teammates behind. See if we can have a look at that situation from earlier on, from the view of Schosse as Dr. Hash made it 3 wide. Look at that dramatic stuff into turn 1. And how they managed not to wreck completely in such a situation, well, that impresses me. Shomar yet again by 2.5 seconds down to the witty professor Joe of the Fire, who in turn again has 2-point-something seconds down to GX3 Aura. We've seen this before. Aura's chasing down Joe of the Fire. He might run out of road ahead of him, although he manages to pick out half a second in that last sector alone. So it's by no means impossible. Aura has shown already that might be the one with the quickest pace here tonight on track. Dr. Hash in 4th at the moment, still defending from Halbstack. Let's go on board with Halbstack into turn 1. A little less dramatic there, I say, than last time they went round here. He's looking to set it up, if we can get in there, exactly, and then early on the power, it's a good move from Halbstack, trying to set it up down into turn 4. Dr. Hash is really trying to squeeze in the angle of attack, and he's having absolutely none of it, closing the door, and he's still in front. He still keeps the inside line, and he keeps 4th position. Having another look at it here. That's where Halbstag just squeezes in. And that's what we can call a Rosberg squeeze there from Dr. Hatch. Also a little bit of contact, but it's all well and good in these touring cars. Status quo, that is then. Oh, that is actually isn't at all, because Schuss has made its way through on Halbstag now. While we were watching replays. Schuss runs wide though, and not really a hairpin anymore. And that loses him some important time to the Doctor in front. Halbstag has been shown his way down into 6th position. And we might actually just be seeing the return of Saral, who's been having some kind of issue along the way. He's now coming back at the runners in front of him. Although he didn't get a good exit from that penultimate chicane. And that might have impeded him ever so slightly. 3 laps of racing left. It's Shomar still by 2.5 seconds in front of Joe of the Fire. TX3 Aura leading a 4-car TX3 line. Although Dr. Hash down by 4.5 seconds, so it isn't really a snake. But he's really closed that gap up to Joe of the Fire quickly as well. Holder of the fastest lap also by now with a 1:55.7 TX3 Aura. And last time we checked it was actually 2.5 seconds between the two. He then clawed half a second out of him through the final sector. He's now clawed an extra second out of Joe of the Fire. But yeah, Shomar is running away with the bread, indeed. He's gonna find himself a nice quiet spot where he can sit down and eat it all. I don't think he's intending on sharing any of it. Joe of the Fire is just trying to run away from Aura. Aura, who's lost a big chunk of time. Might have been up through here. Let's just have a look. On board. Oh, that's where. Nicely kept, but almost lost it there. TX3 Aura, and that might just be the last nail in his coffin. And the chances of catching up to the witty professor in front, it all depends on whether or not Joe of the Fire can keep his cool. Dr. Hash, as mentioned before, he's still 4 seconds down on Aura. Halbstag and Saral has been laid off and disconnected, and Schosse finds himself in 8th position all of a sudden. And Maverick, indeed, the old layout makes for great racing. I just wish that they give us the chance to remove that final chicane altogether. As I feel like I've never seen an overtake actually happening through that part of the track anymore. And so also tend to remember it like you could actually overtake there back in the days. Although I haven't raced on that track since the days of Formula 1 97 on PlayStation, the original PlayStation 1. So, but yeah, the track is there, you've already made it, why not just, yeah, I mean, it's not like the part of making different layouts for different tracks is anything new to the PD team as well. Well, anyway, Aura seems to have lost a little bit of momentum with that mistake. It's now stationary up to Joe of the Fire. Saral, he's recovered pretty well through this one to regain 6th position, mostly through the mistakes of others, but he's actually also managed to now catch up more or less to Halbstag, as I think Wake got... Oh, I think it just looked worse than it was for a moment. I saw the pink car of TSR Wake. Oh, okay, it was. Oh, that's actually pretty well caught. I bet he didn't lose too much time on that one in the end. Well held, Wake. Good job, Sugar. In behind here it's Schosse and Sparks. Very close in the battle for 9th place at the moment, as we're entering the final lap of racing. Now it's Sparks and Shosse side by side. Advantage Sparks though on the outside. Oh, he gets it done before the braking zone. Brilliant one indeed. Moves up into 8th position there. Shomar, he's lost a couple of tenths, but he can just afford to take it. Well, easy, I guess. Well, he kept it, Martin. He kept it. By the way, Maverick, who's making the Volex liveries? I have to say, every time I see a Volex livery, they look damn fine. They look the part. I saw Steve Gaming, I think it was, run the charity race with it. Oh, it's Felix, of course. Who's that? That's Aura. Almost, well, he's still trying to catch up to Joe, but 2 seconds, that's not catchable at this kind of distance to the end. But anyway, hats off to Felix for those liveries. There is Saral, he's pretty closely joined by Wake. Though I still don't think it's going to be close enough for anything to happen in this part of the field. Here it is, Shomar, double heat winner, absolutely superb, absolutely dominant performance, dare I say that, here from Catalunya with Joe of the Fire, the witty professor, teaching his way into second. GX3 Aura ending up in 3rd position with the illegal Doctor in 4th. Halbstark 5th, Saral in 6th position, TSR Wake, the King of Sugar, in 8th, with a nice move on Shosse there on the final lap, and Grosso, the Portuguese, ending up in 10th position, Pirulito 11th, the other Portuguese, Smilehead, having just crossed the line in 12th. It's going to be Calm coming home for 13th position, and then in a moment's time, we're going to be seeing the Brazilian DJ Suami, 1976, come home for 14th. Doesn't look like he's had the best of luck here with Heat 2. And there it is, race results confirmed on your screen. Of course, congratulations to our double heat winner, Shomar. I don't think we've had that before in the TT Cup. Anyone who remembers? If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I don't think we've had that. I think it's been too much to deal with. Great racing on display yet again. I feel like this series just never really fails to deliver on the action, and you can see the drivers. The cars aren't that difficult to drive, being front wheel driven Group 4 cars without any crazy tire wear settings that's gonna ruin it in a lap or two. They're drivable, excuse me, hashtag real burp, but without the ABS, that's a challenging aspect with the front wheel having to do so much work without any kind of assistance really. Mind you, there's no traction control as well. So there is that certain challenging element to it. Rest in peace, no ABS. Yeah, we've seen the brake clouds is a thing here, but I wouldn't be with it. I wouldn't, I wouldn't ask him to change it ever. It makes for such great racing, so much good action. I really enjoy it. Good question. What happened to the reverse grid? Why have I lost delivery? Have I? It seems. No, I haven't. Maybe. It's red versus black time. You know it, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't gonna be leaving before we've had that classic bit of destruction derbying here at the end of affairs. Hopefully we can get running quickly this time around. I have a blue Mustang. Is that any good? Well, thanks for tuning in, Maverick. It's been good fun. It's been all my pleasure. And I hope to see you again soon. Get him! Yeah, I should be getting him right with the pad. Let's go get him with the pad. Well, we need sports soft for this. Do I have the Hellcat? I don't remember what cars I have. God damn it. It's like in... Well, I do have a very grayish Hellcat. Or a very purple one as well. I need to... Oh, that sounded hefty. Did you hear that on the street? That blow-off valve? I can't get to the window quickly enough to even see what that was. That was no motorcycle. That was a car. I'm intrigued by this. I don't hear... I mean, not in my neighborhood at least. Sometimes you get the... probably I have... I actually don't know what that was. See if we can get him. I'll go wreck Smilehead. So this is a little guide, perhaps. I'm not really used to driving with a pad at all. So excuses if I'm not even able to control the vehicle in any way. Well, it seems to be going okay, so I shouldn't be down-talking myself too much. Anyways, this is Red versus Black, the Destruction Derby event where there are no rules and you can do whatever the hell you want, more or less. Like cutting the track here, for instance. Oh, if you get it wrong though, that's not so good. I think, isn't it here? Or am I doing it in the wrong place? It might not even be, but there is somewhere where you can actually... Oh, it's here. But this is why we do it here on Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix layout every time. Because you can cut through here, you can pick up someone. And as I said, well, with no rules, we seriously mean there are no rules except for it's 4 laps. It's each team, the red team and the black team, will be having one Ford Mustang Group 3 road car, and the rest of them will be Charger Hellcats like the one I'm driving here, which is, by the way, absolutely undrivable. And then it's about for the runners, as we call them, the Mustangs. It's about getting the 4 laps completed as quickly as possible. God damn, this is absolutely impossible to drive. For the defenders, it's just all about trying to smash up the opposition to bits and pieces, which is where this thing becomes interesting. Whoop, what? Rest in peace, lobby. So, is this? Is this the? Oh, that's the list of lobbies with friends. Oh my god, I have a lot of friends by now. It must be so popular. God, that makes me feel good. Yeah, awake indeed. What the? Oh, wonder what happened. It's a good question. Shall we be without for this week? I hope not. We'll give it a couple of minutes. Gran Turismo, that's a good Gran Turismo 31. That's good. That is good indeed. Well thought of. also making it a little difficult for me to be all like, hey, keep on hanging on the air while the lobby dies, and I'll force you to be waiting with me in wake, who offered ice cream, and then the lobby dies. That's just your luck today, Wake. It hasn't really been good. Same goes for Martin. I don't know how many corners into the race there was, a lap or the two into the first run, and Martin got taken out. Poor luck as well. Plus a definite incoming strike for this music, I'm quite sure. Even though it is supposed to go in streaming mode when you start streaming and not play copyrighted music, it's having a bit of a tough job with that, the game, I have noticed before. Time to... Hash says lobby up soon. I apologize for bouncing heads, of course. I'm like a little kid on the back seat of a kart drive. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Keep on asking the PlayStation, is it up yet? 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 Could you see these great names? GTWGP Tupac. Is he gonna be singing, I won't deny it, I'm a clean driver? But and then again, then you don't wanna fuck with me. Doesn't really make sense, so it's I won't deny it, I'm a dirty driver, you don't wanna fuck with me. Race. What got the stewards buzzing at me. Oh. So it's up. Oh. I feel like, I kind of feel like joining this one, although I have a gray car, it's not really black. There's no one to hit here. What am I doing then? Pointless. Clutch, so I can't kick it out. Here's someone. No! What is this useless trickery? What is this wizardry? Arab drifting. Oops. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll be 8 with the chassis, so that's okay. tire wear, come on. What are you expecting, an 80 lap race? Joe of the Fire having picked the black Mustang. Shomar, the red Mustang. Dr. Hash here and Aura. We just need Shaz as well, and we'll be ready. So we're lining up now, ladies and gents, red versus black. We need to turn off the ghosting, I think, otherwise this won't make much sense. There it is. There it is. And then what's gonna stop the ghosting now? It's not Halloween yet. Is it just as soon as they unghost, they don't ghost again? Or we need to reset the lobby? It's go time! They have to decide on what sides by themselves. Yeah, there it is. The Mustangs at the front. Why won't it? Oh, there he is. No need to type then. Look at Shazzy, he's already pointing the wrong way. Oh, what about... No, Karm is now on the pitch. We need Karm to get ready. Hey, Cliche! Evening, man. Nice to have you along. You've arrived just in time for the banterous part of things here. Oh, Smilehead doesn't have a red car. Oh well. Go! We don't care, it's 5 versus 3. It's a bit of... That's my contribution to the racial debate for once. A bit of advantage for someone black. I mean that it's nice to see, of course. Anyway, we've got the red team heading off in the right direction with Shoma defended by the Doctor. Joe of the Fire being harried by Karm already. The black team, well, they're a man up, but they're not really utilizing it at all at the moment. They have Wake and Shaza. Well, what are they gonna do? They're gonna try to stop Shoma. At the moment, he's finding himself with quite a bit of track to go. And if any of you have been joining after I went through the rules, let me go through it again. It's 4 laps. We're on the first one of those 4. And I'm just gonna turn on all the info so you can see everything. We can also see how many laps the 2 front runners, the 2 running cars, the Mustang Group 3 road cars, who are the counting ones, have completed. The others, they don't count. They're the defenders. They are just here to smash. So Reagan smash, we will see. Hopefully soon. Smilehead goes around. He's chasing the red leader, the red runner. Now completing his first lap. He's done so in 3.5 minutes, and that's even with the waiting time. So he hasn't really found himself being hampered too much. But there is a stream of cars breaking over the middle of the track, and I'd suggest that Shoma is gonna find the easy times over in just about a minute. We can hear the crashing noises. Black car ghosted out there. Oh, that's TSR Wake, and he manages to really take out Shoma though this time around. Joe of the Fire is being really caught up here and hampered by Dr. Hash as he manages to break around here. And he is a little bit back. He's a little behind, but not by much though after this good hit by Wake. Really took out Shoma. Now it's time for the black team to mobilize the numbers. Aura needs to get out of the way, of course. He is helping Joe on fire, but let's see what is going on here. Shaza, Wake, is he just arriving to punt him off? No. Hash and Aura following their respective leaders around. Shoma looking to complete his second lap, but he's being met by now by one of the black ones. Oh, and he just managed to go around Wake's car. He tried to missile him. It wasn't successful in the end. And the underdogs, the red team, is leading at the moment. One comes in from the side. It was that Smilehead. Nice attempt to time it at a track cut across. Shoma now halfway through for the red team. Oh, and how I can say that Joe of the Fire is leading Shoma. Oh, that's on lap times, of course. Well, then it makes sense. Oh, Joe of the Fire taking a big hit from Carm, and he's spinning all the way around. That is costing vital seconds. All the while, Shoma's blasting down towards, is that Orthon? That corner's name? Please, someone in chat. I don't remember the corner names. All of them I've visited. I haven't visited this in real life. I wish I had. I'd really love to go to Brands Hatch. Such a cool circuit. But every slight kink has a name here. Every straight has a name. Of course I remember some of them. Don't remember them all. The first of the back part, the quick right-hand sweeper, the first of them there. Isn't that Hawthorne? Look at that! That's a new tactic! A complete roadblock by the black cars, and now they're gonna try to shut in Shoma. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant. And it's not working any magic for him, but it's working enough that they're not really moving at all. Shoma is standing more or less still now. He's reversing out of it. He's turning the car around. He manages to do so. He's getting chased by 3 black wolves. That's Wake, Smilehead, and Aura. One goes off to the side. Oh, Joe of the Fire just goes straight into that car. How could he not see him? And Shoma on the final lap. The red team is on their final lap, but Shomar's in trouble again. He's been put towards the wall. And if they can turn him, and they cannot shut him off completely, or can they? Wake takes a good shot at it. And you know what? Joe of the Fire is closing up. But he's moving again now, yet again, Shomar, so it's still the red team leading. Could it just, in turn, become close for the final meters? I think he saw that incoming. Wise one from Shomar. Of course, it's not with race on, so I cannot show you the replay. Matty Tiger Tom, you are watching Red versus Black, the ultimate GT Sport destruction derby. The quick rules is that we're racing 4 laps. Shomar here for the red team, he's on their final lap. And the 2 Mustang Group 3 road cars are racing. The rest of them, it is these cars. They're just out to destroy or protect. And they're of course using team radio, both of them. So it is a race to the line here with Shomar being hit by Aura. And that means Joe of the Fire is through on the final lap. And is in the final sector now. And with Shomar completely hampered, he's gonna find himself coming down towards the roadblock underneath the tunnel. What is happening down there? Are they gonna block him off? No, he's made his way through. And that might just mean that it's victory for the black team in the end. Absolutely brilliant teamwork. They've been behind all the way through. And now come the end, come the sweet moments of victory for the black team. Absolutely beautiful stuff, I have to say. So that's it, and with Red versus Black over for this month, I think all that remains to be said for me is thanks for joining in. It's been a grand pleasure yet again to have you along for the monthly edition, the June edition of the Audi TT Cup, the Audi TT Showdown series it is, of course. Anyways, like the video, smash that thumb button, and if you haven't subscribed already, well, at least consider it. And press that bell icon if you want to get a notification whenever we go online with the stream or a new video. So with that said, it's as always, it's been a great pleasure having you along. My name is DirtenDK, and well, until next time, take care, have fun, and so long, bye bye.